Hey family, and welcome back to What Do You Think and Why, where we ask the big questions and dig into the truth together. So today's episode is going to feel a bit different because today we're not necessarily talking about strategy, but what we will be doing is we're going into the heart of what it really feels like when life lets you down. When your dreams fall apart and something you hoped for slips right through your fingers just as you was about to touch it. I'm talking about that lingering pain that you feel after the hurt, after the storm, after the setbacks. You know, the emotional crash that happens after a setback, after a breakup, a failure, or a deep disappointment. But even more importantly, this is about the hope that lives underneath all of that pain and suffering. So if you've ever sat in the middle of a disappointment, a heartbreak, and wondered if you'd ever feel whole again, this one's for you. Because I can assure you that underneath all of the hurt and all of the pain, there's the unseen wound. You know, when we talk about failure, we often rush to the lessons or the bounce back. Because after all, we don't enjoy that lingering feeling of failure. No, we don't. But before you bounce back, guess what? You hurt and you break. And sometimes we need to speak and to talk about the breaking part. Because you see, failure isn't just about what you lost. It's about what it does to you. You know, when I went through one of the biggest setbacks in my life, and I've had many, but one of them, I didn't just lose a job or a dream. I lost confidence. I lost sleep. I lost pieces of my identity I didn't even know were attached to that thing, that job, that relationship. I felt hollow. I couldn't concentrate. I barely could eat. And when I smile, I was smiling on the outside, but silently screaming on the inside. Screaming for help. Just hoping and praying that someone would come to my rescue. But no one did. And do you know what the worst part was for me? It was watching the world go on as normal. Oh yes, you watch and observe as people go about their everyday lives, totally unaware and unbothered by your pain and suffering. The world keeps moving while you're stuck in emotional quicksand. But I'm here to tell anyone out there, listen, if this feels familiar, know that you are not alone. You're not the first one to experience this pain. And as long as life continues, guess what? You won't be the last one either. And this is what I call the emotional crash. You know, the silent struggles. And setbacks, they don't just hurt, they isolate. Because you can be in a room full of people and still feel completely alone. And I mean, how do you explain to someone else that your heart feels like it's been breaking quietly for weeks? How do you say out loud, I feel like I fail at life? How do you say those words? And unless you have a great support system, things like this you tend to keep to yourself. And many times, if we do manage to tell a friend or someone else, you know, they most likely will say things like, just keep going. Trust the process. It's going to be okay. And when we say things like this to a hurting person, we absolutely mean them well. It's genuine. But then again, what about the process of pain? What about the part where you cry yourself to sleep and you wake up with your stomach in knots? What about the part where you stop believing that anything good is on the other side of this pain? That's real. That's real intense suffering. And if you're in that dark place right now, I'm here to remind you that no, you're not broken. You're human. You're human. But then again, why does it hurt so much? Why? I honestly believe that it hurt not just because of the thing that we lost or the person, we lost, the relationship that ended, but I believe it's because of what that thing or that person represented. For instance, a relationship isn't just love. It's more than that. It's identity, it's feelings, emotions, connections, and many times there's a future that was connected or attached to that relationship. You know that job? When that job ends, let me tell you, it's not just about income. Sometimes that job is about purpose. It represented security and also pride. Even a dream. A dream isn't just an idea, but it's you reaching for something beyond survival. It's you trying to make a better life for yourself and for those you love. So when we lose those things, we grieve. And grief is a complex, confusing, and non-linear process. And let me tell you, no amount of motivational quotes can rush that healing. Because real healing, my friends, it's messy. It takes time and it takes work. I mean, some days you're fine, you're happy, you're jolly, you're good. And then some days you're barely holding it together. And guess what? That's okay. Because you're dealing with the pain, not denying it. You're not denying its existence, and you're not denying that it hurts. So here's what I've learned about pain. My experiences with failures and disappointment has taught me you can't heal from what you won't feel. Let me say that again. You cannot heal from what you won't feel. Yes, it hurts, but you got to feel it. You got to observe it, acknowledge it, release it, and then let it go. So the question becomes, how do you deal with the pain of a setback? Number one, I would say, acknowledge it. Acknowledge it without shame. And know that it's okay to not be okay. Yes, it's okay to not be okay. And if you have to, say it out loud. Even if you say it to yourself, no, I'm not okay. And also cry if you need to. Write it down, pray over it, and then release it. Because let me tell you, the more you suppress the pain or the anger, the more it festers and the more it lingers. But when you bring that thing to light, oh, healing begins to take place. Oh, yes, it does. And number two, don't try to deal with the pain by yourself. Don't try to deal with that pain alone. Try to talk to someone you feel safe with, like a family member, a trusted friend, or even a counselor. But just get it out of you. Because pain, my friend, it thrives in isolation. So again, share your pain with a friend, a counselor, a mentor, someone who can just sit with you in it. sit with you with no judgment. Just listen and sit. You don't always need advice right away. Sometimes we just need presence. We just need to know that someone cares. And number 3, stop blaming yourself. The self-blame, stop it. Just because something failed doesn't mean you are a failure. You can take responsibility without carrying shame or regret. So forgive yourself, give yourself some grace, and realize that you're doing the best that you can. And number 4, try to slow down. Take it easy and just breathe, relax. Because this is the time to rest. This is the time to take it easy, not to rush. Take walks, quiet walks. Unplug. Breathe deeply and get quiet. Because remember, healing, it doesn't shout. Many times it whispers. And you need to be still enough to hear it. You need to know your next move. And number 5, I would encourage you to meditate, to reflect, journal, or turn your pain into prayer. Just reach out to a higher power. Whatever your spiritual language is, use it. And also, don't waste your pain. Transform it, share it, and encourage someone else. And allow that painful situation to bring you closer to your purpose. And always remember, no matter how painful or difficult your situation might be, there's still hope if you don't give up. So let me tell you something I wish someone had told me in my lowest moment. I really wish someone had said to me, you see this pain you're dealing with? It will not last forever. And you are not alone in it. Oh, how I wish. I would have loved to just hear those words. I also wish someone would say to me that you're not crazy. You're not weak. In fact, you're healing. Because I believe just hearing those words, it would have done something to my soul to allow me to process it and to really begin my healing journey much earlier and sooner than I did. And healing, my friend, yes, I know it takes time. But just knowing that someone else took the time to sit with you and to listen and to share some encouraging words, it really does something to your spirit. It helps lift the spirit. And trust me when I tell you this, after the healing, oh, there is a future version of you that's waiting for you. I'm talking about a smiling, sincere version of you. I'm talking about a whole, wiser, and stronger version of yourself. And that person, oh, it does exist. And they're waiting for you. And I know you might not feel it today, especially if you're in the midst of it. But that doesn't make it any less true. I promise you this, if you keep going, if you keep trusting, hoping, and believing, you will laugh again. You will feel joy again. And one day, this exact story, you know the one that hurts right now? That story will be the one that will light the path for someone else. It will be the story that gives someone else hope and a reason not to give up. And I can assure you that after the pain comes purpose. Because you see, you don't just come back the same person after a setback. You are not the same person. Oh, you have changed. Trust me on this. You will begin to realize that you come back deeper. You come back wiser, kinder, and even stronger. You come back with perspective, with humility, and with compassion, you come back with power. Because let me tell you, people who've been through pain and difficult situations and have made it out, oh, they speak differently. They love differently. Their love is on a totally different level. You will find that they now live with meaning and with purpose. And so I'm here to remind you that there's no need to rush through your pain, but instead, focus all your energy into growing through it and rising above it. But before we end today, I want to leave you with this thought. Maybe, just maybe, that setback, that heartbreak, or that disappointment you're walking through today, it's not a detour. Think about it. What if it's not a detour? But in fact, what if it's the exact road that was meant for you to travel? The exact road that will lead you to the most meaningful and beautiful next chapter of your life. Hey, maybe this pain is creating a story, not just for your healing, but for someone else's breakthrough. So let me ask you, how have you learned to deal with your setbacks? How have you learned to deal with your pain and your failures? Share it to encourage someone else. Share with us what has helped you to heal. What changed your perspective? We would really love to hear your story. Because I can assure you, someone else out there is reading this or listening to this, and they need to know that they're not alone and that it will get better. So remember, your story could very well be the thing that helps them take their next step. So share, and let's keep rising and encouraging one another together. Life is difficult, I know, but together we can share in one another's humanity and trust and believe that maybe this is your comeback season. A season where you no longer live or speak from your pain, but you live and you speak from your healing. And as always, remember, here we don't just think, we think deep. See you next time.